Lucius, I know it's been a while, but you couldn't have forgotten what magazine we're published in, have you? And what does that matter to me? It's Shonen Jump time, baby! What's up, guys? I'm Pencil here, and we're going to do a breakdown and a review for chapter 370 of Black Clover, which is known as Demolition Charges? I forget the second word. It's not on the page right now. But with that being the case, it feels so good to be back with Black Clover. It has been a quarter of a year, and Tabata decided to cook. Of course, the man would have no fear. Let's not waste any more time. Let's hop right into it. Heading me. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1, go. What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do have it too. Have it on me. And keep it on me at all times. And another fun fact. Why are so many black bull... this is a random line. Demolition Charge. It is Demolition Charge. There we go. Look at my brain. But don't get me wrong. W color page. Undeniably. Indubitably. And I even kind of like the casino aesthetic. It goes to show, the chance of the battle that they're in and stuff like that. And obviously the main players are here. Your Yami, your Asta, your Yuno. But, I don't maybe because there just wasn't enough space. Probably, but you could put them here and here. There's some battle you could, fit someone in, right here. I don't know. I feel a little bit bad for, a lot of the Black Bulls that just don't get, any sort of appearance on this page. And, the ones that do, outside of the main, Yuno's in the Black Bull, obviously. But, Asta, Yami, makes sense. But you mean to tell me Manga gets here, but Luck doesn't? We're missing a couple Black Bulls. We're missing Henry, we're missing Ghost, we're missing Luck, we're missing Gordon. I don't know. It feels weird. And you could put Luck right here, you could put Gordon right here, you could put Henry right here, and then just a little bit more to the side, you could have put Gordon. You could have fit him. You could have fit him, because, you even managed to find space to put Finral down here. So, Tabata, what's wrong, my G? Why do you hook my boys up? Well, we rash around here, so why we could only have this cast? Don't get me wrong. I think, is it a balance? Hold on, 1, 2, 3, 4... 5 guys, and then 5 guys, no burger and fries. Technically 6 because of Lee, but he's baby Lee, so he doesn't really count. Just like Silk doesn't really count. Well, actually, no, since there's another guy, another girl, we'll count it. So we'll say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 guys, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if we count Sylph. So maybe it was just that number balance. Maybe he didn't want to include too many other, but clearly he was willing to reach out, beyond. When was the last time we even saw Mimosa? I don't know, but regardless, I don't know. It's still a W color page. But that just caught me completely off guard. You can just check that out in the live reaction, which you can check out over on Patreon for. So it's $1 a month. Or remember for $3 a month to check out the 14-minute live reaction in this very chapter. But with that being the case, still a W color page. I like the theming behind it. It is nice enough, and seeing our cast and crew so happy while in the midst of actual agony. Good stuff. But actually, having to the chapter itself, I would say this chapter is heavily a setup chapter. Obviously, I do think, I like this chapter. I like this chapter a lot because it sets up very interesting matchups. But I will admit, I can understand why there was a double drop this period. Notably, it isn't just chapter 370. I'm only going to be reviewing 370 in this chapter, or this, in this review. I will only be reviewing 370. I'll save 371 for something else because my friend told me that there's a separate whole thing and I should react to them because these two chapters aren't directly connected. But I can understand why it was a double drop, because in the multi-month format that is releasing it, not 1 month, not 2, not 3, not 4, but for the sake of Tabata's wife, which I completely understand. Notably, I'm not telling Tabata to rush anything. Take all the time. I don't care if Black Clover needs another 7 years to finish. It doesn't matter to me. I actually really like Black Clover. I really don't understand why people hate this series. I really don't. But with that being the case, this chapter being mostly a setup chapter, which definitely either could have been inferred or done a little bit quicker, I can understand why there was a double drop here. But still, even in spite of this being a double drop worthy chapter, as in not too much happens, we just do matchup setups, I do think the matchups that are set up in this chapter are very, very good. Because we open up right after Luck and Magna managed to finish off a couple of the Angels and their copy of Lucius. And we continue right where we left off, where Asta's still in fact asking, which of us has the advantage now? And naturally, Lucius hits the Because, yeah, he obviously saw the advantage. Notably, we don't fully understand the scope of Lucius' powers yet. While we've had him as an antagonist for a while now, like literal years at this point. Like, I think the Lucius twist happened like 2 years ago, all real time. I still think, logistically speaking, we don't know the upper limits of him, or his cloning capacity, or his magic level. Like, we have no clue. We genuinely don't. So, this smile may be more telling than just what happens in this chapter. It may also be that the real Lucius is still kind of just chilling. And notably, the last time we saw the real Lucius, he was still in base. He hadn't transcended, he hadn't pulled out any magic of his own. Nah, he was kind of just big chilling. Which is terrifying for the case sake of our cast and crew, because we've already burned through 2 anti-magic users. And remember, this entire little structure we see floating around the castle as it starts to get lifted up into the sky, that's made of Yuno. Yuno's magic. Meaning Yuno is going to become less and less viable as time goes on, and Asta already burned a big chunk of anti-magic, imbuing it into all of his friends, who one by one are going to be burning out their potency too. So Lucius definitely still has a lot more up his sleeve, and I'm interested to see how they beat him. Notably, in spite of how hyped the matchups that get set up in this chapter are, I still feel like one way or another our cast and crew is falling for a bit of an okie doke, because we see that Lucius is lifting up the very power, the very castle, the basis of the kingdom of itself into the sky, having the king freaking out, having the civilians freak out, and I believe this is one of the nuns from Asta and Yuno's childhood. I don't know, my brain was lagging. I was like, my brain kept trying to say monastery, but I don't think they actually came from a monastery. And we see everyone is forced to kind of just resort to saving themselves here, because it's so it's so chaotic and calamitous. And ultimately, Yuno has to ask, what in the world is he trying to do? But Asta explains, ultimately, that Lucius is still... Oh, we see him in this chapter, too. I completely forgot. We see him in this chapter. He's still big chillin'. He still has the real master plan. But in order to make that master plan transpire, Lucius is going to cast a super huge, ultra mega giga gargantuan spell way up in the sky, which presumably requires the transformation, or at least the fortification of this certain piece of landmass, as it is meant to be the apex of his kingdom. And it's interesting to see this Yggdrasil... I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but this Yggdrasil type figure here, and seeing the roots slowly burrow into Yuno's own construct. I wonder if that's gonna mean anything for Yuno's reserves, whether he's gonna be drained from this or not. I don't know. Things are gonna get interesting. Things are gonna get chaotic. Things are going to get devious. And I like when things get chaotic, interesting, and devious. I'm leaning with it and rocking with it. I'm interested to see how far this is going to get, though, before Asta and Yuno stop it. But with that being the case, we see that everyone's kind of like, oh, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I did have a modicum, an itch, a tiny little bit of hope. But now I can truly see, from the bottom of my heart of hearts, we're cooked. As the random mages are like, yeah, we're done. And even Rill's like, oh, sweet mother of mercy. This is some gas, but we are in so much danger. And we see that all the captains are sort of affirming their resolve in one way or another. Rill, through respecting the beauty of the incident despite its destruction. William declaring that he will not stand down. He will protect the kingdom in order to make up for what he did, which I do like. Even I'll give her credit, Charlotte, despite being beaten down, arguably the worst out of all the captains here, considering she's like knocked down to the ground, is still determined to not give up and not die. But with that being the case, we see, ultimately, they can't, and by they, I mean our 2 big heavy hitters, our 2 top-of-the-line fighters, they can't stay here. They can't help them. They need to lock in, as they're the only 2 people who could actually do something to Lucius, who have a fair shot at defeating him. Asta and Yuno need to keep pressing forward. Of course, that doesn't mean they aren't going to leave some of their support. Asta already gave him his anti-magic, and Yuno seemingly is still maintaining the barrier in spite of how much energy that's taking. But ultimately, they need to charge forward. But the Luciuses, the copies, are like, we gonna let you do that, little bro? I don't think so. And they charge in and immediately try to get to cooking Asta and Yuno, knocking both of them back. But luckily enough, Lucius made a limited amount of clones, and thusly there are certain individuals who can come and match up with them. And while Yuno seems a bit more pressed, Asta seems to know the Carfax that are on the way, because a certain someone comes up the clutch. Like I said, you always get ahead of us, Asta. And boom, we set up all the different matchups for the remaining Lucius clones. Admittedly, I do think this is necessary. Like, as much as I was talking about, this chapter definitely could have been compressed a bit more. I do love how this chapter goes to set up these matchups, and these matchups were not set up previously, so I'm happy to see them. Primarily, this matchup is going to be... It's going to be something. It's going to be something. The reason I say it's going to be something is because I feel like it's mostly going to be a Charmy-based matchup, because we don't necessarily have crazy powerhouses here. And while Zora's abilities are fantastic, I feel like Lucius's, like, almost transcendental way of fighting, especially if he starts using his actual magic and not just, resorting to punchy punch, he's going to be a really interesting matchup for this crew. Secondly, he's going to have to start doing some crazy stuff. I know for a fact Finral's going to have to definitely start backpacking with them portals. And I'm interested to see what amps Zora in particular gets from wielding anti-magic. That's going to be interesting. And Charmy being the basis of the entire, like, AP side of this is going to be crazy. I'm really hoping we get to see the wolf, though. I'm genuinely hoping we get to see human Charmy pop out again, because it's literally been years. The next major matchup that we get set up is Gauche and his sister Marie up against a Lucius clone supporting Rill in particular. This is going to be interesting. I'm very interested to see how a being like Lucius, once again, all these Lucius clones should have a majority of his abilities. They should all have their own transcendental magics. So seeing someone like Gauche, who relies a lot on, like, mirrors and a sort of pseudo-reality manipulation and something to do with light, I'm interested to see how he interacts with a time beast, especially a time beast while being supported by Rill, as presumably Gauche is going to switch to the main AP side of this run. Just like Charmy's the main AP side of this group, I'm assuming Gauche is going to take the lead on that, while Rill acts as more support here. And this is honestly the most interesting matchup here, at least on a mechanical level to me. We're going to be getting Gray and Vanessa versus a Lucius clone, seemingly enough by themselves, because they're the ones that are guarding and supporting Noelle while she battles her mother, ultimately making sure that Lucius doesn't turn this into Jump Kaisen and immediately attack Noelle. So this is going to be a duo of typically support tier fighters actively going on the offensive against a Lucius clone by themselves, which is going to go a bit bonkers. This is the one I'm most interested to see, because fate and alchemic manipulation against someone like Lucius may go crazy, may get him got, but let's see. Obviously, there's this one. Like, don't get me wrong, I do like... Do I, though? Yeah, I like William. I was really about to say, do I really like William? I do like William. I'm interested to see how he gets amped by Gordon. I'm interested to see how Gordon especially ends up amping Charlotte here, considering she looks extra locked in. Like, while William's kind of just like, oh, the poison is getting in my veins. Charlotte's like, ah, yes, the poison is getting in my veins. And they seem extra locked in. So I'm interested to see how this trio ends up fighting. Admittedly, I'm not sure who the main DPS is going to be here. I'm assuming it's Charlotte? But then again, I think the two of them could generally split, considering they're both, like, plant-based in their magic. So that's going to be interesting to see. But obviously, the most interesting one, most likely mechanically, on a character level, on a story level, a dynamic level, it's got to be Yami, Ichika, and Nacht versus Morgan and a Lucius clone. All these characters have some sort of interconnected dynamic to them. Obviously, it's mainly Ichika and Yami with their connection to each other, Nacht and Yami with their connection, and obviously Nacht's connection to his brother and Morgan, and by proxy, Morgan has an interesting dynamic with both of them, and even Lucius has an interesting dynamic with, ironically enough, not necessarily Nacht, but Yami, and Yami's impact and connection with Lucius are going to impact his dynamic with Ichika. So, like, there's so much interesting behind this battle that it's just gonna be top tier. And then the final battle we get to see, I think, is this just gonna be Henry running ones? I think this may just be that dog Henry running ones, because I don't see anyone else he's supporting nor saving here. I think Henry is literally just going to take the fortress and box a Lucius copy, which, while mechanically may not be the most interesting, unless he starts, like, consuming Lucius's magic in order to maintain himself. I'm very interested just to see, like, the scale of this battle, bro, because he does seem to land this first hit. Henry goes swinging for it, so I'm excited to see bro cook a little bit. I'm excited to see him cook, but finally, once again, just confirming Magna and Luck, yeah, they're kind of chilling on the sidelines right now. They can't really do too much. They burn through all their magic. They burn through all their anti-magic. They're kind of just going to be supporting. Unfortunate. I was definitely at least hoping for a bit more from Luck. Like Magna, I get reusing the Soul Chain Deathmatch. Even, like, fusing Lux into it. Even if my critiques from months ago stand still, where I'm like, I don't know, Luck had way more magic. Maybe you didn't want to split the magic with them. But still, I hope they at least stay alive. There will be. But the final thing is that Asta and Yuno now are able to charge unimpeded. Beyond the Lucius clones, beyond everything, they're able to switch and go beyond and charge up towards the real Lucius, meaning they're going to be the final battle for him. Now, of course, this does confirm that Black Clover, at least unless Tabata starts doing double drops consistently, which I highly doubt. I do think, for the sake of him and his wife, it's better for him to do one drop at a time. He has more important things to focus on. That sounds crazy considering he's a mangaka, this is his main job, but still, he's making enough money, hopefully, off the manga and off the anime royalties that he should be fine. I want him and his wife, well, because I believe it is his wife. Feel free to correct me, I'm not too informed on the situation, but I believe Tabata has switched to this whole publication format because of his wife and her well-being, so I hope he focuses a lot on that. But I think this does confirm we're at least getting Black Clover until early 2026. Like, if we're sticking to the 4-month format, if all stays well, or all stays as it is right now, there's at least, what? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 separate battles, so that's 5 chapters each. 6 separate battles, plus the main battle, which will be the final battle, 7 battles against the real Lucius, who we haven't even reached yet. Which I'm down with. You know, I really lean it. I'm mad at it. I'm more than happy to get Black Clover. I'm glad to have Tabata back. And of course, there are other matchups that don't even get mentioned in this chapter that we'll probably see more of. Like, we'll actually get the conclusion to Asta versus Noelle. We're probably going to see the end of Merliona's fight from way back when. Like, there are other things that we still got to get to see, so I'm excited. Overall, a nice little return to form for Black Clover. However, if you made it all the way to the end of this video, please leave anti-attack. Leave anti-attack in the comment section down below. And then thank you so much for watching. Please remember to leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit the little notification bell so you don't miss out on any videos that come to the channel. Also, I do have a Patreon below where you can support me for as low as $1 a month to get things like exclusive videos, early content, and more. If so, now become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks will include the live reaction to this very chapter and the next chapter of Black Clover, and free variations of all my videos. And if you become a $25 patron or a $25 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also, if you want to order a short little video, 5 minutes or less, drop a $5 donation down to your boy in the Ko-Fi link down below. Or if you want to order a regular length video, a $25 donation can also be dropped to the Ko-Fi down below. Thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is Dagger the Pencil, writing off. I'd like to give a thank you to our $3 members: Kleiner Plays, Greyhound, Akids Void, Astro, Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, G Prosper, Paris Arnold, King Sukuna, and NMA. I'd like to give a thank you to our $5 patrons: Steron, Sean, Owexian, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin Encarnacion, Josh Brown, John Malcolm, and Igneal Lynn. And I'd like to give another thank you to our $7 member, Autumn Mornings Lazo. And I'd like to give a big old thank you to our $10 members, Robbie Uchiha and Jay Warrior. And I'd like to give another big old thank you to our $10 patrons, Panda Goat, Joaquin Munoz, and Idemokami. And finally, I'd like to give a big, hefty, gargantuan thank yous to our $25 patron, China Doll 09. And I'd like to give another gargantuan toe-curling slobbanaba dabba thank you to our $25 patron, Calvin Elder.